pleasant day to everyone. This is Dr. Calbonero-Narciso and I will discuss to you lesson 1 of the subject Good Governance and Social Responsibility. Lesson 1 tackles about the introduction to corporate governance but before we proceed with our lesson, let us take a look of this statement in the next slide. Now, I will require everyone to submit to me next meeting in a one whole sheet of paper as your assignment to explain whether the following statement is true or false. So by the way guys do not inform, do not broadcast to your class that we have this assignment. This will be an experimental activity to assess whether everyone watches this video. So the topic under this lesson is about what is governance. And according to the author of this book, governance is a process whereby elements in society wield power, authority, and influence, and enact policies and decisions concerning public life and social upliftment. So in simple words, it is the processes that lead policy making, and its implementation can be called governance. So in Bisaya, governance is about pamalakad, no? So I know that a lot of you here are part of a certain organization, be it civic, religious, school, government, and non-government organization. So, di ba guys, ang success ng isang organization is nakasalalay as to who actually leads or govern the organization. Okay, so say for example, if you are part of these youth organizations presented in this slide, you will notice the difference in governance every time there will be a changes in leadership. Mo nang makaingon ta guys no nga, mingaw lagi ang pamalakad karon compared sa una, or bipo lagi karon ang pamalakad, daghan kay ganap no, involved kaayo ang mga members, no? So share lang ko gamay. Since my childhood kasi, I've been exposed to different organizations also. So one of the notable organizations I've been with is when I was elected as the SK chairperson in Barangay Calbonero-Narciso, Asuncion. So way back in 2006 na siya. And then I was also elected as barangay councilor after my term as SK chairperson. So before, ang SK council kasi guys is under the mercy always with the barangay council. Okay, so yes, meron naman kaming 10% budget from the era. However, yung release ng money in our time is limited because we are controlled by the barangay council, no? That is also the reason nga maglisod og lihok ang mga SK before, katong wala pa na reform ang SK. But fortunately, last 2015 na ay nigawas na SK Reform Act, no? So, yun. Pero sa ako ang term before, daghan man gihapog mga accomplishments, pero yung budget kasi, yung budget release namin before are really controlled. Okay, muabot pa sa time nga mutapal kag a large amount of money, then mudagan pa siya pila ka months bago siya mabayaran, or else if you will not do that, then wala kay project, wala kay program, wala kay activity. Okay, so I can really see the difference on the governance also when my younger brother won the SK election last 2019. So actually bagura nag-end iya ang term, no, katong recent nga SK in barangay election, that's the time na nag-end iyang term last November. So they have the freedom actually, kana sila nga batch starting sa ilaha. They have the freedom over all the SK budget in their time. There's no stopping them from accomplishing the set program on schedule, no, sa ilang mga giplano. That is why guys, in terms of governance now and before, mas dako ang power, authority, and influence of the leaders to enact policies and come up with a decision. Okay, I've been a witness of this because I am also their SK advisor during their 5-year na term. No? So thus, governance is a process of decision making and the process by which decisions are implemented or not implemented through the exercise of power or authority by leaders of the country and or the organization. Kaya yung discussion natin ng governance is kanang, this is very vital. Kasi it does not only affect one person, no, but then the whole organization itself. So, when can we say that there is When can we say that there is a good governance in our organization? So according to the book, here are the listed characteristics that we can say there is. First, let us tackle about participation. So if your department or company allows everyone to open up their concerns or give suggestions openly with no retaliation, then it is a sign of good governance. Pag merong freedom of association and expression from those in the bottom or everyone, again it entails good governance. Okay, so open to participate actually lahat. Kumbaga, there's no wall, there's no barrier for them to enact, no, kung unsa ilahang mga hinaing. Second is that when there is accountability. So accountability, this is about owning responsibility to whatever result of the decision making. Yung mga project, unsay result sa project, successful ba or not, that a company experience. So the main concern here is that who is really accountable to whom. Pag once manggod, ma-identify nato kung kinsang accountable for that specific project. For example, this will also give a huge responsibility para ato na person na tarungon niya ang siya nga project, or else it will boomerang on his or her performance. Okay, so namagoy uban guys nga mga manager no nga pag once successful ang project, they will take credit alone about it. Okay, so discrediting the efforts of its members. Pero pag once gani failure ang project, dira apud mo pasok pod ang iyahang kanang pagbasol-basol nga tungod man gud ni sa imuhay nanay-nana. So accountability is really owning up whatever the result of that specific nga program, project, or decision making. Then we also have this what we call effectiveness and efficiency. Okay, so it is not enough to be effective alone. Kailangan din gawin ang trabaho in less time, tapos less yung scrap naman. Effectiveness kasi guys, yan yung nauuna, no? It is about doing your job according to your job description. Kung unsa ang gipatrabaho sa imo, okay, gitrabaho nimo, then you are effective. Okay? But ang kailangan natin is dapat efficient ka rin. Efficiency kasi, this is beyond what is in the JD. You have to find a ways to improve your work actually. Okay? So, kumbaga, dira na mo pasok nga naa kay mga best practices nga imuhang gina-apply para mas mapanindot or mas mapadali imuhang trabaho. That is efficiency. Okay? So, fourth naman, we have this equity and inclusiveness, no? This requires all groups to be included in the process. Hindi yung i-disregard natin ang mga rank and file and yung mga, for example, in terms of races, in terms of nationality. So, let us be sensitive enough to the different beliefs, yung costumes, yung norms ng mga employees. Okay, so, one of the characteristics of a good governance is nandun yung equity and inclusiveness talaga. Okay, so, kailangan it is, part sa tanan na mga proseso is yung lahat ng mga empleyado. Dili lang na siya para sa mga managers or those employees who hold supervisory or managerial level. No, it is actually for all. Next is we also have consensus-oriented, no? Majority always win. Okay, also this requires mediation of the different interests in society. So whenever there is a decision making, kailangan mo prevail jud kung unsay gusto sa kadaghanan, for example. Then responsiveness. So responsiveness naman is about taking action with the concerns as quickly as possible. Kay naay concern ning responsive ba ka sa ihang mga gipag-ingon or ginaunya-unya lang na nimo or wala na nimo siya ginaseryoso. Okay, so kailangan responsive ka. Then transparency, next is being open to data or information, most especially in the financial aspect. So it also means enough information is provided in easily understandable forms of media. Dili manggod dapat na ay ginatawag nga silo mentality ang isa ka corporation. Kasi ang isa ka company, it is composed of different departments. There could be cases nga ang output sa isa ka department could be the input sa other nga department. So dili pwede nga mag-iya-iyahay lang guys. So whatever is the available information that is relevant and necessary to the other departments, then you have to disclose it. Okay? Kailangan transparent ka, ana. Then lastly is the rule of law, which requires fair, legal, ethical practices are enforced impartially in the company. Okay, again, it is actually enforced for all. Dili lang na siya ingon nga, okay, nagkamali, that is only applicable yung mga disciplinary actions sa mga rank and file. And then yung mga officers at the top, ang mga managers are exempted on that. So, dili na siya pwede ng inana. Okay, now let us specifically tackle about the corporate governance. So specific na tayo ha, corporate governance. So corporate governance is the system of rules, practices, and processes by which business corporations are directed and controlled. In here, we are talking about the governance happening in the private corporate sectors. Okay? So yan yung gina-address natin when we say corporate governance. So, good corporate governance is also about controlling one's business and so is relevant and indeed vital for all organization. Whatever the size or structure of the organization, mapagamay or mapadako man, corporate governance is necessary. So, nga naman jud no? Nga importante man jud siya. It is because a lot of people are involved in the company. Dili lang kay shareholders lang, dili lang kay stockholders lang. Daghan tag mga stakeholders nga affected ana. So, it is also a protection from the different stakeholders to safeguard the resources available in the company. So, remember when we say stakeholders, those are people who have a direct and indirect nga kanang unsa no? Kalabutan sa operation sa business. So which includes like ato ang employees, suppliers, stockholders, investors, customers, okay? Even environment is part, government also, and others. So kato sila tanan, basta naa sila mapa-direct man or indirect nga kalabutan sa business, we can consider them as stakeholders. So, dili lang manggod isa lang ang involved ana. So, daghan man siya. And then, corruption is the usual reason of the downfall of a certain business. Okay? Corporate governance aims to ensure the eradication of corruption in the corporate sector. So, in addition, corporate governance specifies distribution of rights and responsibilities among different participants in the corporation. So this is important to ensure check and balance of each other. So di ba ang isa ka corporation, they have a board of directors, they have CEO, CFO, COO, and dili na siya pwede nga, dili na nato i-monitor atong mga corporate officers. Kasi mas naadira ang naay prone for corruption. Okay, so the board of directors actually have different committees to ensure, to audit, to inspect if ever yung trabaho ng ating mga corporate officers, including those who are in the middle management, is supervised or klaro and then tarong ang ilahang trabaho. Okay? So, example, there are assigned to audit the work of the CEO in a company. So, they are also assigned to inspect the materials received if it is of high quality or correct in terms of quantity. Kasi naapoy ubang company guys nga, hala nag-purchase o kanang TV, for example. Okay, naay na-receive or naay na-release nga kwarta pero walay TV. Okay, asa day napunta ang TV. So, it's very important that there should be a check and balance jud. Okay? Kay dili lang mangud thousands ang ato ang ginahisgutan diri. Even it will reach to millions and billions of money. So, next is, the purpose of corporate governance is to facilitate an effective entrepreneurial and prudent management that can deliver long-term success of the company. Guys, ang good corporate governance can benefit investors and other stakeholders. Pero ang bad governance can lead to scandal and ruin. Okay, just like what happened before in the Enron scandal, which broke out in October 2001, no? So when we say issue on good corporate governance, ang usual jud nga gina-example ani guys is kaning Enron. Napato daghan pa to, WorldCom, napatoy other nga mga company, nangunguna talaga itong si Enron. So actually Enron eventually lead to the bankruptcy of the corporation. Unsa man ning Enron? This is an American energy company based in Houston, Texas. It was the largest bankruptcy reorganization in American history at that time. So, the primary reason for the failure of Enron, guys, was attributed to an audit failure. The problem faced by Enron was, despite having structures and mechanisms in place for good corporate governance, nobody flaunted and flouted these rules and regulations. So, the board of directors turned a blind eye to open violation of the code also. So, siguro, mga close kaayo nila. So, nag-turn blind eye lang sila. So, whenever po na mga financial meetings, for example, gina-window dress nila ang financial statements into the desirable one. But the real happening or what happens in their organization is really already a disaster. So ilahang gipag-ingon sa stockholders is that they are really doing good, no? The auditors failed to prevent suspect and questionable questioning the accounting also. Wala na nabuhat pod sa auditor. Dili sila strict ana. The auditors did not even examine yung mga different na mga transactions, no? The Enron collapse has left thousands of people jobless. Yun na yung sabi ko na dili pwede nga walay maglantaw kung unsa ang nahitabo sa company. Kasi it is not only affecting one person, no? So, yun, you have a lot of employees employed in your company. But because of that bankruptcy, it actually left thousands of people jobless. Many of whom lost virtually in their entire retirement accounts. Nanay padulong na unta mag-retire, tapos wala na padayon, wala tataga ag retirement pay. It's because of that specific nga downfall. Okay, moving on. So, the following are the objectives of corporate governance. First is, it must be clear, fair and equitable treatment of shareholders. So, a corporate governance structure ensures equitable and fair treatment of all shareholders of the company. So, because sila yung reason bakit nag-exist ang company, no? So, it is just the right thing to do nga i-safeguard ang resources nga gihabutang nila sa company. Because without them, the company will not exist. Next is that self-assessment. So, corporate governance enables firms to assess their behavior and action before they are scrutinized by regulatory agencies. So, before ang officers scrutinize sa external regulatory agencies, guys, like BSP, SEC, or like the government, so corporate governance practices allows the company to point out loopholes and deficiencies. Kaya ma-identify in advance, sulod pa lang sa company nga na nag-exist nga problema. So kaya if merong makita, action agad sa loob. Hindi na umaabot sa public ang problema kasi na-settled na internally, no? So next is increase shareholders' wealth. It actually aims to protect the long-term interest of the shareholders. So by this, mas mahikayat pa ang mga shareholders to invest more in the company. And we also have transparency and full disclosure. So CG ensures a higher degree of transparency in an organization by encouraging full disclosure of transaction in the company accounts. So transparency can eliminate the problem on corruption inside the company. So the basic principles of effective corporate governance are threefold. Okay, dapat na dyan yung three. First is transparency and full disclosure. Increased transparency in the corporation's operations and management makes it easier for investors to make informed decisions. No? So it also cuts down on the possibility of manipulation or misuse of investors' funds. So lastly, it helps investors make informed decisions and choose stocks or bonds that may suit their investment's need and investment portfolio. So for as long as tama, accurate, and transparent ang management, they will really come up with a sound na decision. No? Kasi it is an objective way of making a decision pag once nga klaro ang data na to. Next is accountability. When leaders clearly define and communicate what the organization and employees are accountable for and committed to achieving, they are describing an ideal culture. Pag yung mga leader alam ang scope and limitation ng kanilang trabaho, guys, the way they govern their subordinates also limits to what they know they are accountable for. So if manugo kang subordinate o niya out of bound ang gisugo nimo, tendency or it may create a necessary problem and issue on doing the task which is outside his or her span of control. Okay, so talking about control, the last one we have corporate control, no? The officers must practice prudence. Dapat cautious ka sa imuhang mga decisions. Dili ka basta-basta mo jump into decisions, no? Most especially if yung decisions involve major changes sa pamalakad sa company. Example, topic on mergers and acquisition, selling of stocks, and others. So, dili man na siya ingon nga basta-basta nga i-decide na to without a complete na information ahead. So, yun, I think that is the last na topic, no, for the discussion of this lesson. Now, on this last part, I have here a question about this one. Transparency and accountability are synonymous. So, you got to explain whether the following statement is true or false. So, meaning, duha ang inyuhang answeran nga question. Katong first na ako gi-mention sa first na part, and then kanina dayong sa last. So again ha, do not inform your classmates that we have this one. Kasi I am testing everyone if ever naga-follow bata sa instruction. Okay, nag-send man ko sa inyo ha o kanang nag-inform ako sa inyo ha that you have to watch this video in advance. So I am also hoping that everyone will really watch this video so that you can know what is lesson 1 is all about. So if you did not watch this video, so you cannot answer the questions given and you cannot submit an assignment to me in the next meeting. So that's it. Thank you for listening to this video and do not forget to submit your assignment on the next meeting, guys. So have a good day.